Alright, let's get everything set up here really quick. I want to show you guys my Google Doc spreadsheet for yesterday. But really quick, what's going on everybody on YouTube? Griffin here from Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur, coming back to you guys with another live stream. Sorry that I'm not like showing my chart like I usually do yet. I just wanted to show you guys before we get going. I'll get the chat pulled up here so I don't miss out on that. But actually I want to close that out really quick just to show you guys what I'm talking about with this like little spreadsheet I kind of made up. So this is just like overall, if you all want like if you want to copy it even, it only takes like 2 minutes to like set up. And it's pretty basic. I mean, obviously you can like set it up to do like math equations and stuff for you, but I actually do mine myself, just calculator and everything. I mean, could I be off a few cents or something? Yes, but I mean, I double and triple check at the end of every month. Pretty much I just set up my date, like I'll go ahead and get tomorrow set up right now actually for my trades, and then I'll go through my Robinhood history. Now the Robinhood web is available. This makes it so much easier because I can pull up Robinhood, just go back and forth, or you can still just like look at it on your phone, whichever you feel is like best for you, whatever. But I like going back and forth from Robinhood web, just tab to tab. Sometimes I even just copy and paste everything. But point being, just how I do it is like I do stock and stock I bought and like what the price was. So like right here you can see, like I said, TVIX 10 shares at 10.27. Then I put the total price, and then I'll say the sell price and for the total, and then I'll do like my profit or loss down to the percentage. I try to go all the way to like, what would that be, hundredths or tenths, I don't know, whatever, for my percentages. And then I also put money added, like what I deposited into my account, and then I'll add up how much I deposited total to make sure that I hit my target of at least $400 to $500 per month. If I go over that, then awesome. If not, if I'm actually below that, then I try to like go and do something like order up or sell some stuff around the house. I'm starting to run low on things to sell around the house, but I still have a couple $100s worth of stuff that I can sell if I need to. But usually I'm like hitting my target for sure. I mean, I've put in about $600 or $700 into my account as of late, but and just added 200 obviously. But I just want to show you guys this because I was in Gush obviously, and if you tuned into the live stream on Monday, the 5-hour live stream where I was pretty much from market open to almost market close, I think it was like 1:30ish Central Time when I finally went off. And I kind of just kept Gush in the back of my head and was looking at it. And if you watched Gush at the end of Monday, it really pushed up the last hour of the market day, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna ride this up, see how high it goes. A lot of people are saying it could hit around 22 if it broke through 21.45. It seemed to be struggling around 21.45, going near the, I mean, I literally sold this thing at like 3 or what would it be, Central Time, it'd be 2:56 I think was when I sold off Gush. It was like right at the end of the market day, but I sold it off for 21.42. If you watched that live stream, you know I was super pissed and frustrated with Gush. It was at like 21 or no, it was down to like $20.11 at one point. I think that was the low, and I was just like getting so frustrated. But again, that's where if you stick to your plan, and I even mentioned that I was like if I have to, I'm gonna hold this overnight. Obviously it's a big amount of my account, is over half my account, but I knew I had my plan. I was like, I'm not gonna sell this, like I'm not gonna cut losses. I'm in too deep. I'm not gonna like cut for like minus 7% or maybe even more at the time. It's pretty much, I was down essentially a whole $1 per share, so I was down $25 on that at that moment. We're pretty close to it, like 24, because it didn't quite reach 2008. It was like 2011 if I remember right. But you get what I'm saying. Like if I let my feelings dictate my trades, I would have sold for a massive loss, and that would have been horrible. I mean, I was down at that point roughly like a whole percent, like 1.5%. TVIX was saving me at that point. As you can see, I made like a total of like $13 somewhere around there off of TVIX, a good 6.6%, which if you watch me on that live stream as well, I was like kicking myself. I was like, why did I only buy 10 shares? I should have bought like 30 shares of it, and I would have had like massive profit that day. But as you all know, if you watch my videos from way back when I first started, I got shot big time on TVIX because I was trading with more of my feelings than my actual plan. Now that I'm actually sticking to my plan, I'm just kind of taking smaller shares and stuff that might have bit me in the past, and I just stick with my plan. Like I said, Gush, I was super frustrated with it. I just stepped away from the computer. I logged off of my live stream, obviously, and I was in Texas on vacation, so I didn't want to be on all day doing this stuff. So I just kind of watched it back and forth on my phone, on the laptop, just kind of doing things. I set alarms for like every barrier. I set it at, if I remember right, I set it at $21 because it was hovering around like $20.40 for the longest, it felt like. And I set an alarm for when it hit 2080, it hit 2080, and it seemed to just hit my alarms. I put my alarms like in 20 cent like intervals. So like when it hit 2080, I got an alarm. When it hit 21 again, I got an alarm. When it hit 2010, I set an alarm because there seemed to be a very strong resistance around 2110. I mean, not 2010. At 2110, there was a really strong resistance right around there. So I set an alarm for that, and then I set another one at 2120. And then when it hit 2120, it seemed to just kind of, I wouldn't say take off or anything, but once it hit above 21 to 2110, it just really started just going up like 5 cents every few minutes. And then right around 2140, it started kind of having trouble. So I think it got up to like 2150 or maybe even higher for a little bit. And I got kind of cocky. I thought it was going to go up to like $22, but obviously it came back down. But it was like the end of the day, so I went ahead and sold off, only 1.6% profit. Now, obviously, if we go ahead and get you guys pulled up here and go look, TVIX had like a really crazy day today. You could have made so much money on TVIX today. I actually wasn't. I was driving back home. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm actually back home. I drove home all day. We left around 11:30. We got back roughly around, what was it, like 8 o'clock. So it was about 8. It was about an 8-hour drive back when it should have been 9 hours. So I felt pretty good about that. But what were we talking about? Gush. So yeah, I didn't even get to like really look at the markets or anything today. But I mean, look, if I would have held Gush overnight, yes, I would have made a lot more money. I would have made roughly, let's say I sold off right here, I would have made another 60 cents a share times 20 shares. You're looking at what's the profit on that, like cash wise. Let me get the calculator pulled up here. I can't do math right now. My brain's just fried from this drive back. So 25 shares times 60 cents, I'm looking at what, probably like $12, 15. So I would have made 15 more dollars if I just held it. But I know by just selling, covering the profits at roughly 1.5 to 2%. Yes, it's not huge profits, but I'm going to be able to use that money tomorrow. That $15, who knows? Instead of 15, I can turn that into like 20. I mean, it's not like a huge. I mean, it's a decent profit amount. What was it? Another 5% maybe. Because when did I get in? So I got in at 2108 or something like that. So 2108, if I would have sold off roughly where I probably would have around 20. I mean, I'm looking at almost 5% versus just 1.6. So I mean, yeah, I'm looking at another 3%. But is it really that big of a deal at the end of the day? I think not, because I mean, it's just my thoughts personally. But yeah. So there's no questions currently. I'll get you guys pulled back up here for the rest of the stream here in a minute. But so I mean, overall, yeah, like I said, I mean, sticking to your plan, you will pretty much stay green. I have not had a red, I've not like closed a red share or anything. I don't know what you want to say. I haven't closed red on any of my positions in now, what, about a week? Ever since like I've completely just shifted my mindset to not going based off of hype, going based off of my own due diligence, going based off of what I believe in personally. Obviously, I'm big on ETFs. I'm big on like natural gas and all kinds of just like, what would you call them? Like just steel and just stuff that I know. Like I'm sticking to stuff that I know. That way, like I kind of can keep up with the news. Obviously, I mentioned in my live stream on Monday that I don't really go based off news quite as much as I do just the charts. But just sticking to a plan is so huge. I can't stress that enough. I mean, the numbers pretty much tell themselves. I mean, we can get my Robinhood pulled up if you guys, if you're new and don't necessarily like believe me. I mean, these aren't huge profits, so I don't see why you not believe me anyways. But we'll go ahead and get me pulled up here. Obviously today I didn't do nothing, but if you looked at my account on Monday morning, we were at like 813. Right now we're at 836.02. So, I mean, if you look at the last week, I think it's going to be kind of weird because I deposited some money in. Robinhood needs to really kind of fix their, actually, this might be right because this is the last week. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I'm up 4, almost 5% on my account. This is actually right because this includes, like, me trading some last week. I had, like, so it has been, so it's been, like, yeah, about 4 market days, 5 market days since I've had a red day, so to speak, red sells, where I've sold in the red essentially. But so yeah, I mean, the last week I'm up roughly 5%. Obviously that's going to just continue to climb now that I'm like sticking to my plan. But I mean, yeah, I mean, the proof's right there. If you didn't believe me for whatever reason, but I'll go even further and show you guys like my history, because I know some people are like obsessed with the history. So as you see, like I said, 200 deposited from my account. Let me see, April 2nd. So right here. So like I said, we bought TVIX. We sold, was this TVIX? Yeah, we sold TVIX off, like I said, right there. 10 sold at 10.95, just like I have on my chart there. We bought Gush at a horrible price. Should have waited for it to go ahead and dip even further, obviously, but bought it at a decent price. Bought some more of TVIX, sold TVIX off again for like 6%. Oh, too far down. For a bit of profit, like $7 profit roughly. And then obviously we sold Gush off, like I said, at 21.42. It's not going to show like the abbreviations, the ticker symbols or anything. These are like the actual names of the stocks, ETFs, whatever it is you're trading. This is Gush, 25 shares, sold it at 21.42 for 5.35. So as you can see, about a $9 profit right there. So that overall for the day was like up $24. Nothing big, but like I said, I mean, just staying in the green. Overall that day, I did like what, about 3% total profit, because I had 6.6, 1.6. I did about 3% profit when you break down per dollar. I had about 3% profit per dollar. So I mean, nothing big, but like I said, when you stick to your plan, do your own due diligence, ask questions in these whatever groups you're in. I would kind of stay away from stock twits and stuff like that, the ones that kind of pump and dump stocks, but there are some good people on there that are just good for information. I mean, pick as many brains as you can. If you see someone that you trust, pick their brain and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about, I mean, I was actually on stock twits when it came to Gush. Coming close to the end of market day, I was just seeing what people were, it said it was trending. I still have to stock twits, even though I hate on them a lot. I still have it, I'm on there actively. And I hopped on there, and there was someone on there that seemed pretty knowledgeable just about Gush and Drip overall. He was in both, as I am, as most of you know. Hops between them back and forth. I've seen him a lot on there, and he was talking about Gush ending the day roughly around $22, after hours included. And I asked him, I was like, what do you think about the resistance around 2110-ish? And he said he thinks if he breaks it, that yes, we'll see it go ahead and shoot on up to at least 2140, 2150. And sure enough, it did. It got up to 2142, so it kind of let me just kind of remain calm. I kind of figured the same thing, but I just wanted that someone to kind of just reaffirm, I guess, what I was thinking. So, I mean, just pick people's brains. There's nothing wrong with picking people's brains that you trust. Just make sure you trust them. But stick to your plan, and you will just end green. Stick to your plan, do due diligence, and know what you're trading. Those are like the 3 steps. I mean, this is not rocket science, guys. It takes a little bit to get figured out. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, we can go back and look at my March. I mean, I'll show you guys. I said I wanted to do this anyway, so I guess I'll go ahead and do it now. Look, when I was trading so many different stocks, I mean, look how many like penny stocks and stuff you see in here. What do you see? A bunch of red. I mean, minus, oh, that was GoPro. I had GoPro like when I first started with Robinhood like 2 or 3 years ago. When I first heard about it, I got a free stock or whatever, but this doesn't really count. This is, I just want to put it on there for like tax purposes, because obviously the IRS will like look at every single dollar. But anyways, I mean, like you can see everything I invested. You can see, I mean, look at just everything I was trading. That's why, that's another thing I stress. Don't start out big with so many stocks. You can have a watch list, but try to limit your watch list to like 5 to 10 stocks. And then every single day that you go to trade, I would only focus on at the most 4. I usually do about 2 or 3 at the most, but sometimes 4, because obviously inverse ETFs, if I'm doing just ETFs, and I'm having 4 that I'm looking at, because with inverse ETFs, there's 2. Obviously, there's as one goes up, the other goes down. So you get what I'm saying. 4 at the most, but usually like 2 to 3 is all I'm focusing on anymore. But if you look, when I first started, I mean, you see what, probably 8 or 9 different ticker symbols just within the first couple days. I mean, this is March 1st. This is March 2nd. I mean, it was just insane. You see how much red there is there? I mean, I had some green. I mean, up 10, 11%. But, I mean, I had more down than I had up overall, and just not sticking to my plan. Like with Acre, if I stuck to my plan with Acre, I would have made over $125, guys. But that would have been like such long term, like a 2-week investment. I just didn't see value in it, so I went ahead and hopped out. I hopped out as soon as I started like trading with, I mean, just look at it. I had so much red. This right around here is when I really started to just like reevaluate how I was trading. And then obviously, like, I had some more Acre, a bunch of Acre and BPMX. That's when I went ahead and sold the rest of them off. And then as you can see, yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, here's my total. My total, because of all my fuck ups at the beginning, I lost so much money. But you can see when I started, as soon as I started, these are still seed. JDST I did mess up on. That was one that was my fault. I mentioned that in the past. But you can see a bunch of seed. Once I sold all the shit off, essentially, what did I do? I started having like consistent green, and as you can see, pretty much since like the 22nd or 20th all the way until like now, today, I have not sold off for a single like red, like I have not had a red day essentially. Now they're not big days. I mean, as you can see, 3%, 3, 4, almost 5, 2.5, 3. I'm averaging about 3% profit right now, but it's just being able to end green. And I mean, yeah, I was kind of pissed that, yeah, I ended down 2.5% technically, but going into now, I mean, look, I'm on track to do at least 3% a day. I'm hoping by the end of the month to be transitioning into like 4%. Like, my goal is essentially to go up at least 1% daily. I mean, now obviously you're not going to go up 1% like each month. Like 6 months from now, I'm going to be doing 11%. Is it possible? Yeah, but is it realistic? Probably not. I'm just trying to like slowly, I'm trying to just get, my end goal is at least 7%, but just for the time being, I'm setting little milestones, so to speak, just like a goal essentially. My goal for the end of this month is to be at where I'm averaging about at least 4% a day. Is it a huge deal if I'm not? No, but I want to at least stay where I'm at. I just want to stay green, obviously, and I'm finally starting to do that, so that's obviously encouraging. If I can keep doing that, then I'll focus more on that 4%, and then 5%, and then so on. But for the time being, if I can just remain green, at least 2 to 3, 4% a day, I'm not going to complain. But I don't want to focus on that too long. Obviously, I want to talk more about stocks, because I have not actually even dived in, whatever you want to say, into stocks or anything yet today. But let me see how we're doing here. See if our stream's doing all right. Looks like we're doing okay. Has nobody's watched, but yeah, I guess I'll go. I know it's kind of late. I know I usually do these like a little earlier. It's just, it is what it is. Hopefully you guys see this at some point. Hopefully it's still valuable information by the time you see it. But yeah, with that, I guess I'll go ahead and just finally, 15 minutes in, start diving into a few stocks and ETFs that I want to consider trading tomorrow. So obviously Gush, if we go back to the 5-day, I want to start out by looking at 5-day charts, or actually I think I want to start out by looking at 10-day charts just to see where we're at overall. Okay, so it's still trending below the SMA line. So if we go back and look at DRIP, since obviously DRIP is the inverse of what? Gush. So DRIP is still currently around 1277. It was down about 5% today. RSI is showing not quite oversold. It could still be due for a minor sell-off. I wouldn't say sell-off, a minor pullback in the morning. So what am I really looking for here? I want to see, I have so many of these trend lines. I need to clean some of this up. So we'll go ahead and remove that one. Maybe. Remove. Hopefully that's, yeah, remove that one. We'll remove this one. And now we'll go ahead and do this, like this, something like this. So I'm looking for it to continue down, obviously. At some point, they're probably going to reverse, guys. But for the time being, I'll have it like that. And then I'll eventually get to this. But, so there is still quite a bit of volume behind DRIP. However, either way, the SMA has been acting. Let me go back a little further on this. Let's go back 20 days and see how it looks. So the SMA has still been acting as a resistance. If you look at 20-day, let's go to the last month. So if we go to 30-day, boom. So yes, the SMA has still been acting as resistance. and the SMA is still currently trending down. Even though it's not down like a lot or anything. Yeah, sorry about my trend line kind of being a little off, but is what it is. But so it's still acting as a resistance. So I look for a drip to actually continue to have this pullback. I don't know necessarily if it will tomorrow. Let's go ahead and go back to 10-day. So if you look at the overall trend, drip tends to have these pullbacks for what, about a day, maybe two, and obviously we're currently in about a day and a half to 2 day pullback on drip, and then drip tends to have somewhat of a bounce day where it goes up some, about 3 or 4%, and then it continues to go down. Obviously it keeps getting rejected right around $14. There's a resistance pretty strong around $13.90 to $14. It got rejected and it came down. It got pretty close to it. Actually, it only got up to about $13.50, and then it got rejected. It got up above 14 for quite a while on Monday, yesterday morning or mid-afternoon, but eventually got rejected. Apparently, it came back up in the morning again, got rejected. So what I'm looking for drip tomorrow is a possible run-up, actually, first thing in the morning. Let's look at the 5-day now. Zoom in even closer here. So if you look at drip's current trend from the last like 2 days, it's done what? It's ran up in the morning and then had a pullback in the afternoon, and then it ran up again. Let's see, it started out, let's go to right here. So if you look first thing in the morning, what did it do? It went up, got rejected right around $13.50, came down. I would have got back in probably right around here at $13.33, but look, it ran up about 4.5% within how much time? So this happened right around 8:50 a.m. and then it got up to its peak right around 9:20. So within half an hour, guys, it saw pretty much its high for the day. And that's happened like the last 2 days. If we go back and look at the previous day, what did it do? Obviously it took a little longer, but what did it do? It started out the day going up. It went up how much? Like 7%, maybe even higher. It went up like, yeah, 12. Actually, yeah, I forgot that was the day when drip had a really good morning, because that was obviously when Gush was doing horrible for me. But yeah, it was up 12.5%. Now, are we going to see something like that tomorrow? Probably not. That's kind of unrealistic. Unless if obviously the market goes to shit. I predict if the market goes to shit again tomorrow, then yes, we could see a huge jump with drip. But what I'm kind of encouraged by is that we're kind of seeing it kind of possibly. However, I don't want to speak too soon on this. Let's look at the 1 day. So 1 day, it's got a whole bunch of volume behind it, which is good, obviously. SMA, watch for it to act as a resistance. You can see it's been getting rejected by it pretty much all day today. So that's one thing to look out for. But if we look, you can see it's attempting an after hours. Obviously, now the market's closed for the night, duh. But it's trying to slowly kind of trend back up. So what to look out for tomorrow, I'm going to look out for it pre-market, see what it does. If it can get above 1288, I'll probably go ahead and invest, depending on where it's at when the market opens, obviously. Because if it can get right up here to right around, if it can just reach back up to around 1320, you're looking at a quick around 3%. And who's to say it won't go a little higher? Yeah, it's eventually going to get rejected by that SMA. But if we go back to the 5-day SMA, which is what I like to focus on the most, it still has some wiggle room. So what I'm looking for is, like I said, I would probably wait until around at least 1288, like I said, for some solid confirmation. Let's just say 1289. I would write it up right here to around 1330, maybe even 1340. That's a quick 4% profit, guys, and that's probably going to happen pretty quick tomorrow. So that's one to definitely look out for. Is that necessarily going to happen? No, but what I'm basing it off of is this 1 day, 1 minute chart that going into after hours is showing the signs that it wants to kind of push back up. EMA also looking to possibly trend up. MACD as well. RSI isn't showing overbought at all. It's around 49 right now. And there is quite a bit of volume behind it still. So it's just one to be on the lookout for going into the morning. I need to look at TVIX in a minute. I don't know what's going on there. But so obviously the inverse of that, however, Gush. So what does that mean for Gush? So with Gush, obviously the 5-day, it's acting what? As a support. So, right? Isn't that what's been the case? Let's go back even further so I'm not misspeaking on this. So the SMA has been acting. Let's go to 30-day. I might have it mixed up slightly. It's been acting as a support still, yeah. So it's acting as a support, but one thing to be careful for is this going to act as a resistance, because lately it's kind of almost been acting as a resistance. You can see it got above the SMA. Let's go ahead and zoom in right here. You can see it got above that SMA, and what happened? It got rejected big time, had a pretty big sell-off, I would say. I would pretty much call this a sell-off. I mean, it dropped down like 15%. I would call that a sell-off. But obviously the whole market sold off that day. But so one thing to be careful about with Gush is what's going to happen with this SMA indicator, like specifically like the 20-day SMA. Right now we're on 30-day, I believe. Yeah, but specific, they're about the same indicator. There's going to be a resistance pretty strong right around $23, $22.80-ish. It says $22.77, but I'm saying around $22.80 is where the resistance is going to be really strong. So what I'm expecting, since I'm expecting drip to kind of have a little run up in the morning, I'm expecting Gush to do what? I'm expecting it to have, let's see the volume at this right now. At 2 p.m. the volume was at 481,000, so it was a little high. But what I'm expecting going into tomorrow morning is that we're going to see the MACD showing that it should continue actually to push up. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to happen quick tomorrow morning either way. I'm looking for a pullback again because we're getting close to that SMA, and you can see it showing signs that it's getting rejected there. So I'm looking for a pullback, which means obviously I'm going to hop when I'm expecting. This doesn't mean it's going to happen. It could actually happen inverse because they are inverse ETFs at the end of the day. So what I'm expecting by this formation, it's the same, it's the opposite of drip, of course. I'm expecting a pullback in the morning from Gush, probably to, let's see, so I'm expecting about 3 to 4% out of drip. So I'm expected to go down roughly right around here to 2150. Just a rough estimate, obviously. I mean, I'm not going to be 100% right. I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm expected to get around to like 2150. I look for it to bounce. What I'm going to wait for is when it bounces, that's obviously when I'm going to sell drip, obviously, before it maxes out. I mean, who's to say drip might go up 10%, but I'm going to sell off probably around 4% profit is what I'm expecting. If it goes right, if it's going how I'm expecting, of course, it could go opposite and Gush should run up, and then I would get into Gush instead of drip, catch Gush on the way up and do the opposite, whatever. But I'm expecting this to happen very quick in the morning. I look for the pullback. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hop into drip, in theory, go into drip, get my 4%, and then wait for some sort of confirmation of a bounce, and then pretty much try to ride Gush up. Let's say it does go down, in fact, to like 21. Let's say it goes even lower. Let's say it goes down like 2130. I would wait for it to get back up to like 2180. I would wait for some sort of solid confirmation. Obviously, depends all on how low it goes and how high drip goes and all that. But let's say, in theory, it bounces around like 2140. I'm going to wait at least until 2180-ish to get in. And then I hope to at least get it right back up to around $24 at that point. It's not going to be a huge profit. Actually, it would be a huge profit. That's around 9% profit. That might not be specifically tomorrow either. I mean, that could be like a swing trade potential. But so we got questions coming in. How's it going, Jake? You were on the live stream the other morning. Wait, where are you trading right now? I thought, no, I'm not trading anything right now. I'm talking about moves for tomorrow morning specifically right now with drip and Gush. So yeah, hopefully I didn't confuse you, but yeah, I'm just going over like, I just got back home actually, and I haven't had time to look at the stocks or ETFs or anything. So what I'm doing with this live stream is just going over, I'm kind of analyzing these ETFs and stocks, like what I see out of them, what I see happening, and what I was just explaining is obviously, as we know, Gush and drip are inverse ETFs. So you see right here that Gush is getting rejected by this SMA line, this green line right here, the SMA indicator. And you can see it's showing signs of getting rejected again. So what I'm looking for tomorrow with Gush is for it to have somewhat of a pullback first thing in the morning. Am I going to be right on this? Who's to say? I'm not a fortune teller, obviously. But what I'm expecting is for some sort of a pullback, probably to around like 2140 or maybe 2150, maybe even lower. But I'm not expecting it to really go back below 21 again. I was wrong on that before. Could I be wrong again? Sure. But what I'm expecting in theory is that it'll go down to probably around like 2140-ish, maybe 2150. I'm going to wait for some form of a bounce, like confirmation, which I'd probably get in around 2180 82, somewhere in there. And then I would try to write it up just above the SMA, probably around like 23.20. And then look, that's 6.5% profit potential there. So, and then the inverse of that, like I was talking about a minute ago, I don't think you caught that since you said you just joined. But drip, obviously the inverse of that. So if we look at the 1 day, and if we look near the end of market hours, it shows what signs of trending up. The EMA is starting to go up. Obviously, this SMA is acting as a resistance as well. It has not been acting as a support. And the RSI is not showing signs that it's overbought or anything. The MACD is actually showing signs that it is quote-unquote time to buy. MACD, I never really go by too much. I look at my RSI and where my SMA and EMA are the most. These are like the 3 that I focus on the most. SMA, EMA, and RSI. I look at the MACD kind of if like I'm in like a last resort situation. But anyways, point being is showing signs that it is wanting to kind of bounce, so to speak. And there is volume there behind it. I mean, the volume isn't crazy high or anything. I thought it was higher than it was actually. Gush has a lot more volume. So could it actually be inverse and the opposite happen? Sure, but then I would just hop on Gush instead of drip. But if this continues, like I said, I'm going to wait for some form of confirmation. I'll probably wait till at least around 1280 in this case. It's currently at 12. Actually, I might wait a little more. I might wait till about 1285 for some confirmation. And it depends on where it is because obviously it's going to be either going up or down pre-market. So that'll either confirm or kind of prove me wrong, and then I'll go over to Gush instead. But what I'm expecting is because if you look at the previous 2 days, what has drip done? It's kind of took this little bounce for a quick little profit first thing in the morning. So if you catch it at the bounce, say I got in right here, wrote it up here, I mean, you're not looking at huge profit there, you're looking at 2%, but I could sell that really quick for a quick 2% profit because obviously I have to go to work in the morning. Hey, how's it going, JY or JWYMC? Seen you in the live stream the other day as well, or was that yesterday morning? Or I could hold it. I don't think this will happen tomorrow. That's why I'm talking about quick flip. But if you wanted to, you could hold it, be a little riskier, and get 4 or 5% out of it. But either way, let's go back also to the previous day, if it'll let us here, maybe. What also happened? We saw kind of consolidation, but then what happened? We seen a bounce. Let's say you waited for some confirmation, got in right around 1263. Let's say you just wrote it up here. You're talking 3% profit right there, just like that. Within what, like half an hour this happened. Let's say you got in at 843. Let's say you sold off right here at 915. That's less than an hour. That's half an hour. Just boom, quick 3% made, out the door, made your money, go on. So and why am I bringing this up? Because I mentioned, if we can go back, I mentioned the current trend. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the same thing to happen again in the morning. I'm looking for either consolidation and then a bounce, or I'm just looking for a quick bounce in the morning for a quick 2 to 4% and then move on. And then if I'm wrong and the inverse happens, like the opposite happens because Gush and Drip are inverse ETFs, then what am I going to do? I'll hop into Gush instead, but I'm not thinking that's going to happen because I look for Gush to kind of have a pullback and then bounce off of that SMA indicator. There's tons of volume behind Gush. If you look at right at the end of the market day, it was at 54,000 versus Drip was at what, like 19,000 we just seen. Volume isn't like your huge make or break indicator or anything. It's just something to keep an eye on for sure. And this is per minute, of course. Like this chart is by minute with candles and everything. So it is kind of being crazy with the EMA. It's hard to get a good read on it. But I am looking for a pullback. Like I said, I look for it to pull back, bounce off of the SMA. I might actually be wrong. I think I said it would get down to 2240. Is that what I mentioned earlier? It might actually get as low as like 2215, then bounce off. But either way, I'm looking for a pullback in the morning with Gush, so I'm going to focus hard on Gush and Drip. These are the two I'm really focusing on tomorrow. If you caught the beginning of the live stream, I went over like my profits for Monday and whatnot, what happened with Gush when I sold it off and all of that. I did sell Gush off for a profit, thankfully, but I was just talking about you need to focus on 2 to the max 4 stocks or ETFs. I only say 4 because let's say you only want to trade ETFs for the day. They look the most promising. Obviously, you're going to be looking at 4 because inverse ETFs, they come in pairs, obviously, because as one goes up, the other goes down. So then that's 4 technically. Have you seen silver? I personally haven't, but everyone is talking about it right now. No, I have not looked at silver. My grandpa is really into silver actually, but I'm actually not in silver right now. It's just been so crazy the last couple years. I'll take a look at it here in a minute though. I was surprised how green the market was. I wasn't personally, because this market has been so volatile that honestly I would not be surprised if tomorrow everything's down 2% again. I went on the record, what was it, yesterday? I keep getting my days mixed up. I went on the record yesterday pretty much saying I think that we will continue to see this market go down. But yeah, I mean, it's so volatile. It's just up and down. It's almost predictable. I mean, I would predict within the next 2 or 3 days, we'll see the market take another 2 to 3% dip. Tomorrow might kind of be the unch day where we only see it go up or down like 0.5% or something. But then the next day, we're either going to see it go up 2% or we're going to see it go down 2 to 4%. I mean, it's almost predictable at this point. If you go back, I mean, let's just pull up SPY really quick. Wow, you were right, it did go up a lot. But I didn't look too much at them today. I was driving all day. But let's just look at, let's see, I'm going to go back a little further. Let's even do 90 day, because I mean, February was really when it started getting crazy. Whew, that was crazy. But if you look here, I mean, how much did it go up right here? It went up, you can't see it, but it went up from, what, 260 to 265 in a period of, what do we have here? Are these by days? I believe these are by days. So, yeah, this is days. So, yeah, in one day it went up 5 points. And then obviously it had a huge sell-off. It went down from 262 to 255 in one day. And then what did it do the next day? It went from 255 to like 261, 260. And that's just what, the last like 2 days, if I'm looking at it right. I don't know what's going on here with this. Let's we're on 90 day. Something's not okay. Let me look at this really quick. So 329. Okay, so yeah, this is just the last 3 days. I don't know why I have it on 90, but it's only showing 3 days and it's not showing that. Okay, I can't move it. But anyways, this is just the last 3 days. I mean, you see how volatile it's been the last 3 days. But if we look at this beautiful bull flag, it had this bull pattern it showed. I mean, it pretty much showed yesterday it was going to go back up, and I even predicted it to go back up. But I mean, look, you keep seeing the same trend over and over and over. Down, up, down, up. I mean, it's just almost predictable at this point. You have kind of a little day where not much really goes on, and then boom, sell off, and then we have a day. That's the thing, though, that people are not paying attention to. Look how much we dropped here just in one day, down 3%. And then look how little we kind of went. Obviously, if you want to count right here, I don't necessarily look at like after and pre-market hours. I know I should, but let's like look overall at the day, like the actual market day. We technically only went up 1% during actual trading hours, not even 1 whole percent. But then look what happens during market hours when it goes down, 2 to 3%. So it's just something definitely be on the lookout for. I keep saying over and over that the market's eventually going to crash. I mean, we're due. It's been 10 years of consistent just growth, like total bull market. There's nothing to be worried about. Like I said in that live stream, I'm not fear-mongering whatsoever, but I mean, you can make tons of money in a bear market. But, I mean, we're already in a bear market, and I think we're kind of down that slippery slope. I pulled up the chart of 1929 versus 1987 versus 2018. They're so dead on accurate, in line with each other. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up silver here in a second. Yeah, crypto was extremely, yeah, I've seen that too. I did see that. I looked up crypto because we were talking about that the other day, how crypto tends to go green when the market goes red, but they both seem to be green today, weren't they? BTC finally passed. Yeah, so they were both green today, so that kind of threw me off a little. As much as I would like to agree with you, that is predictable or not. Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't really go just on patterns, but because yeah, no, I wouldn't go strictly just based on patterns. But like me, I don't really invest like in SPY, or I don't really mess with like blue chips type of stuff. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I don't really mess with blue chip. What I tend to notice is as the market goes down, my account tends to go up. So like the market was down through what, like 3% yesterday, and my account was up 3%. So is there a coincidence there? Who knows? But yeah, I kind of like it when the market goes down, to be honest. I know it's bad for retirement and for the economy overall and whatnot, but yeah, and let me go ahead and get silver pulled up here for you guys. we'll get it pulled up here in another tab because I don't want to look at it like on the TD Ameritrade. Silver, I don't even know what I should type in. Silver price. So today it changed 12 cents per ounce. Does silver, what is silver's ticker? Is it just S? Oh, not what I was wanting to pull up. I don't remember if silver like has its own ticker. Is it like, did I get that right first try? No, I don't think so. I think that might be right. No, because that's Sprint. Let's just pull up 1 day, see if that'll cause it to load quicker. I don't know what's going on with this. Let me, silver ticker symbol. SLV, is that right? Maybe. Okay, there we go. Is this silver? I think so. Yeah, I think this is silver because the price looks right. So what were you saying about silver specifically? Have you seen silver? I personally haven't, but everyone's talking about it right now. Well, it dropped like a motherfucker today, it looks like. What am I on, the 1 day? Let's look at 5 day. Super volatile. Has potential for a overnight trade because it seems that it either drops a lot overnight going into pre-market or it spikes up as of late. The SMA indicator, let's take a look at that. That's what I'm really interested in. The SMA is kind of, that's hard to tell. So let me see if you said anything. I can't tell really if the SMA is kind of acting as a support or resistance. I know there's, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about silver. I don't know if there's a lot of news going on about it. But I would say there's a support. Let me go back a little further so I'm not going to misquote on the support. Okay, so I see a support roughly around 1536. So I'll draw it right here because I might want to keep an eye on this actually. So I see a support right around 1536. I'm seeing a pretty strong resistance right around 1564, maybe even slightly lower, 1564 to 1560, somewhere around there. I didn't draw that trend line perfect. Fuck. Oh well. But so I mean, what's the potential here? Say you wanted to wait for silver to go ahead and continue to trend down as it usually does. Say you wanted to wait, let's say it goes ahead and dips down to like 1530 or something. You want to wait for confirmation, say around 1540 or 1541, since that's where my little ticker thing landed. Say you wanted to ride it up. You know it's probably going to go slightly above 1560. Let's say you waited till around 1567. I mean, it's only 1.7% profit. I mean, obviously, is there potential for more? Because, yes, it's gone higher. But even then, you're kind of, quote, I wouldn't say gambling, but you kind of are gambling. It has shown in the past that it can go this high. But will it? Who knows? I mean, this is a swing trade, and it only shows potential of like 2 to 3% for a swing trade, keep in mind. Not a day trade or anything, but a swing trade potential of 3%. It's just not really much that I would really... I'm not too intrigued by it, in all honesty. Let me look at the 180. So 180 is also showing, and the support and resistance are about, they're pretty similar. It's gone up to 16. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's potential there if you want to swing trade it for that little amount. If you're more of like a conservative like investor, the SMA is acting as a resistance, as you can tell from here too. 180-day SMA is acting as a resistance. It keeps trending below it. The SMA is currently flatlined, and if the trend continues, it flatlines. Was it do dip? Flatline. It went up a little bit. I don't know if there was some news or something going on right around here, but generally it's been doing what? Flatline, dip, flatline, dip. So if that trend continues, I mean, we saw a little flatline, not really, but a peak and then dip. So flatline, what would you expect? Dip. So yeah, I'm not too into silver. I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're kind of more conservative, more of a conservative investor when it comes to silver, I mean, yeah, like let's say you catch it whenever it has this huge sell-off, because it shows signs that it continues to have sell-offs. That's another thing, is it's due for a sell-off because it keeps selling off. It'll kind of consolidate like it did here, kind of consolidate. I mean, yes, it spiked up some here, but I mean, their version of spiked up was what, 3.5%. I mean, that's not really a huge push, but it went up, and then what happened? It went down. Did kind of a similar thing here. So it's kind of doing the same thing, kind of bouncing around 2 to 3%. So what would I expect? Like I said, just based off of the pattern overall, I would expect some sort of a sell-off again. It might make a new low. So if you want to wait for some sort of a sell-off, or wait it out and see if it's going to break through the resistance around, I would say the main resistance is around 1575. If you want to wait for it to break above that and then potentially catch on the rise up, then I mean you might get 5%, but I don't know. That seems kind of more of like a long-term investment for someone that's trying to have some portfolio or something. I don't know. Me personally, though, I'm not too interested in this. When you say confirmation, does that mean to reach that point or hit it a few times? I'm just unclear. So like what I mean with confirmation, let me go to like 5-day. Maybe that'll make it easier. So with like confirmation, say you see how I drew these trend lines here, like I'm identifying a solid resistance as of late, the last 5 to 10 days, a resistance right around, actually let me go ahead and go to 10-day because it might look a little more clear. So you see that there's this resistance right around like 1565, somewhere around there, and then a solid support right around 1537. So say it continues to go down, say it probably will go below this. I mean, you can see it's gone below it multiple times. It's just an overall support that I drew out, just like a quick one for this example. But say you wait for it, say it goes down to like 1529, 1530. I would wait for it to, so obviously it would do something like this. Obviously it's not like gonna do it just like this, but just stay with me here. Say it goes down here to like 1529, like that. So what I would wait for is for it to show signs. I would wait for it to break above this, because old supports become what? New resistances. So this would act then as somewhat of a resistance right around 1537. So I'd wait for a confirmation that it is going to break above that new slight, I wouldn't call it a hard resistance, but it's going to have some resistance there when it goes back up. If you don't know anything about that, I would suggest you just kind of study overall trends for a little bit and until you understand that. But I'm sure you guys understand that. But I'd wait for it to probably, in this case, I'd wait for it to get around like 1540. That way I'd have confirmation that it is trending up. It's up around what, almost 0.7% at that point. And it's above that, then resistance, slight resistance at 1536. So once it got above 1540, we're above the resistance. We're showing active signs of trending up. I would of course pay attention to like my RSI, MACD, make sure it's not like showing signs of huge, like majorly overbought, and that it's due to like trend back down or anything. But with everything considered, you see that it's still below the SMA. So then at that point, in theory, you would jump in, you would go ahead and ride it up for your, in this case, like 1.5 to 2%. But like I said, for that little of amount, and it's probably going to be a swing trade, not a day trade. It would probably take 2 or 3 days to get that out of it. For that reason, that is why I just am not going to consider investing in silver right now. Like I said, it could be a good potential long-term investment for somebody that's a conservative investor. But I'm not interested in swing trading to begin with, and for me to consider swing trading, there has to be a potential of like 5, 10, 20% swing trade potential, because I break it down by days. Because say I swing trade something for 5 days, I want to make at least at the minimum 3% profit per day. So for that to work out, I would need to make 15% off of that swing trade in theory. I mean, obviously you break it down day by day, but hopefully you understand that. Let's see, what else do we have? So what stocks do you have right now? I need to look at TVIX because it's showing up weird. But right now, we just really went over Gush, Drip. Those are obviously the ones I watch like all the time. I'm like in love with them right now. I'm constantly making like 3% a day off of them, sometimes 4. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at TVIX because I don't know why it's showing up like that. That's kind of weird. But yeah, TVIX, obviously I made like 6% off of it, and then I made a little more off of it midway through the day Monday. Thank you, that cleared up for me. Awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome. But yeah, TVIX, what went on with it today? So it shows 0. Let's look at the 1 day. So what, did it just kind of unch for the day? 5-day. So let's look right here. I don't know if my Thinkorswim's kind of messing up with TVIX or what's going on, but it definitely did not unch. It was technically down a little bit. It was down some. So what do you see? You see that it's SMA is acting. Let me go ahead and confirm this on my 20-day. So 20-day SMA, that's not really clearing anything up for me actually. Let's look at 30-day. So pretty much I like to look at my SMA indicator, see if it's acting as a support or resistance. For the last month, it's kind of been acting as a support, acted as a resistance slightly. We had a little bull pattern here and it shot up. Obviously, TVIX is very news driven. Somebody, I don't know if it was one of you guys, but somebody pointed this out to me that with Trump's tariffs, that's what really has just drove TVIX up lately. Trump and China obviously going back and forth. Like I said, I don't go off news too much. Obviously, I look into it, especially with stocks I'm specifically trading. I actually tuned into Acres call today, and I seen it drop 20 cents almost. That was expected if you tuned into that news call. But yeah, so with TVIX, what am I really expecting? RSI, let me go ahead and zoom back in. Let's look at the 180-day SMA. So 180-day, good thing is the SMA has been acting as support for 180-day. So that's good news. However, it is slightly overbought. So that's one thing to obviously be on the lookout for. But if we look at the 1 day is showing it's due at least for a pullback. So what I'm looking for at TVIX going into tomorrow is I'm looking for it to probably pull back somewhere right around 1030. Might even go a little lower. TVIX might see a red day overall tomorrow. Seeing a red day today, it looks like. Yeah, let me go back to 5-day. I hate that my thing's kind of messing up with TVIX right now. It's a little annoying. But overall, TVIX did have a red day. So if you just look from the end of yesterday, let's just go right here. Or actually, this is like pre-market technically. So from pre-market to the end of after hours, it went down 3.5%. So I mean, it did have its red day today. So could it bounce tomorrow? Because if you look at the 5-day SMA, what did it do? It trended below. The SMA has been acting as a resistance today. So what do I expect from that? If we look when it acted as a resistance before, what did it do the next day? Boom, it shot up. Now, am I looking for it to go up 20% like it did yesterday? No, absolutely not. In all honesty, actually what I look for it to do is possibly continue to act as a resistance. It's showing signs of overbought on the 5-day as well as the 1 day. So what I'm looking for is, again, some sort, obviously you can see it trended up slightly in after hours. It went up, what, about 1%? Not even, or actually about 2% in after hours. But what I'm looking for is pre-market. I'm going to look out for the pre-market. It might trend up slightly pre-market. And then what I'm looking for is either that or I look for it to trend down pre-market. I look for some sort of a pullback. Let's look at go back to the 1 day, 1 minute. I look for it to kind of dip below, maybe slightly below, right around here. You can see it dip below the SMA right there, right around 1040. I look for that to happen. It's currently sitting around, what, 1052, somewhere around there, 1050. So I look for it to probably dip somewhere around here, maybe minus 1%, maybe even a little more. Might dip down even here, minus 2% pre-market or even early market hours tomorrow. So what I'm going to look for is some, again, confirmation of a reversal, like it bouncing off of the SMA. If it can do that, let's say it doesn't even continue to go down, which I do look for it to do in the morning. But let's say it doesn't. Let's say it go ahead and starts to shoot up. Let's say by the time market opens, it's at like 1065. I'd probably go ahead and hop in all honesty, because just looking at the overall pattern, it's showing signs that it can at least reach up here to at least $11. So I mean, what is, oh shoot, I didn't mean to click that remove, but either way, what I was saying is you're looking again at a quick 4, maybe even 5 or beyond chance of profit. It is highly volatile. I mean, you could day trade this multiple times if you have the money. I mean, look at that beautiful bull pattern. I mean, you could just tell that was going to spike up midday. I mean, if you hopped in right here, sold off right here, quick 3.5% profit. But anyways, I just love seeing that. So beautiful. But point being, this actually was pretty scary right here. If you were in right here, you were probably like shitting yourself. But it didn't show any signs of reversing. I mean, it showed it was oversold, but I mean, it just was trending down. So I was, whew. But it's so volatile right now with Trump's tariffs and Trump and China going back and forth. But yeah, I mean, there's potential for at least, you can get at least 4 to 5% out of it. I would just, again, wait for some form of confirmation. I would not be surprised if it trends down. I'm going to look up the news tonight and see if there's like any more Trump tariff talk or anything. I haven't heard much since yesterday morning, but who's to say? I mean, but it is a highly volatile stock. I mean, you could lose your ass just as much as you could cash in for 10 to 20%. I wasn't gonna change. What was I gonna do? Go to 10-day. I mean, just look how volatile this has been. I mean, if you don't have like a strong stomach for this stuff, I mean, you could lose your money just as quick as you could gain it. Because say you bought in right here and you wanted to see how much it'd ride up, and then you started getting scared right here, you about broke even. So I mean, it has potential for a swing trade, but be careful if you're. Me personally, I would not hold anything in this stock market right now. I mean, that's why I love day trading to begin with. But if I was a swing trader, I'd be so scared in this market. I mean, stuff is just so volatile. I mean, look, it's from 688 to 12 in what, a week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 market days. So just over a week, it's pretty much doubled. I mean, who's to say that in another week we're not going to be right back down to $6? So it's just something to be careful with. Obviously, the good thing is the SMA is acting as a support. So do I see that happening? No, but I mean, you always have to be careful. I mean, let's look at 20-day. 20-day, yes, it went from 9 down to 660. I mean, what is that, like a 40% drop, 30%? Yeah, about 30% drop. So just be careful with everything, but especially like TVIX right now because of just the old Trump tariff and anything. TVIX, you need a titanium. Yeah, you need a titanium strong stomach for crypto. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, crypto's its own little monster. I didn't even get to look really into crypto. God damn, Snapchat keeps dropping. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, this is really kind of frustrating actually that TVIX isn't showing up for like absolutely anything. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at TVIX just because, I mean, that's so beautiful. I mean, there's just so much potential. I mean, look, it has similar, if we can go ahead and go like this, boom. It's showing similar signs of what it did yesterday going into today. It kind of hopped up, came down, showing signs of wanting to go up. Had a little pullback in the morning, came down. I mean, it went up really quick, about 1% or 2%, but then it came down about 2%. And then what happened? You wait for it to break above the SMA again. Yeah, I mean, I really think that's going to happen. Am I going to be right? Who's to say? But I'm going to wait for it to I think it is going to go below the SMA. So what I'm going to wait for is for it to go below the SMA. I'm going to wait for my confirmation for it to go back up. Obviously, it's not going to be at 1080. I'm just saying in this example, say you catch it when it gets above the SMA, you get your confirmation, you write it up for a quick 3, 4, 5, however much percent that your stomach can tolerate. But me personally, in this case, I want to wait for it to dip probably down here, like I said, to 1035. And then wait for it to bounce. I want to wait for it probably to get back up to, like I said, at least 1060. Let's see, I write it up here, get up to about 3.5%, 4%, maybe even more, and then hop on out of it, get my money, move on. But why does it say message retracted? TVIX hitting its all-time high would make the world go crazy. Are you talking about what we were talking about the other day where, like, if you look at the 3-year, it was, like, showing crazy amounts? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Whoever would be in TVIX would be, that'd be nuts. I mean, could you imagine getting TVIX at 1060 and selling it off for 10 grand a share? But, yeah, right. But, let's see, what time is it? We got a lot to do still this evening. TVIX, so we went over TVIX, Gush, Drip. Let's see, do we want to go over any of the other ETFs? JNUG, I might want to talk about JNUG. I don't know why I wanted to talk about JNUG exactly. Or was it DGAS? Shit, I forget which one. We might go over both really quick. So JNUG is also, if you don't know, JNUG kind of goes hand in hand with /CL, or not CL, /GC. Do I not have that saved on my watch list? /GC. I guess I don't have that, so I need to put that on my ETF watch list. Is it there now? Okay, yeah. So JDST and /GC is what I meant. They tend to go hand in hand. So pretty much as /GC goes up, you're going to see JDST, if I remember right, if I'm thinking right, go up. Let's look at JDST. So pretty similar. As it goes up, JDST will go up, which means what? JNUG is going to go down. Oh, did that wrong. JNUG will go down. The good thing is that lately, let me go ahead and pull back to 20-day. 20-day, what's been going on? It's been acting as an indicator, and what I'm looking at for here is a possible bull pattern setup. I mean, look what happened here. Had a little bull pattern going right here, bull trap, whatever you wish to call it. We seen it right here. Boom, shot up. Boom, kept shooting up. Do I think it's gonna go this high again? Probably not. But the SMA has been acting kind of as support the last week or so. Obviously acted as a resistance here for a little while, but then it finally broke through and shot up. So what I'm looking for is, again, some sort of confirmation. I want it to break above the SMA, probably around like 1375. And then what would I do? What would I consider doing? I would hop in probably around 1375, 1380. I would try to ride it up. Let me see. I'd probably want to get it to at least 1440. So then you're looking at what? You're looking at potential 5% profit there. Why am I looking at right there? Because I'm identifying somewhat of a resistance right there, since that is the recent high. Obviously, the most recent, like highest of high was 15. Do I see it getting up to 15? Probably not. Can it? Of course. Of course, once it break through the 15 resistance, it'd probably go on up to 1540 before the next main resistance. But really, I'd be happy with just getting my 4 to 5% and moving on. So tomorrow with TVIX, that's what I'm looking out, or TVIX. Tomorrow with JNUG, that's what I'm looking out for. Is it going to go ahead and continue to go up above the SMA? If it does, I will by all means hop in probably around 1380, ride it up for about 4%, maybe 5%, and move on. I mean, there's so many that's what I love about these ETFs. I mean, they're almost, I wouldn't say predictable, but I mean, one thing's guaranteed is one goes down, the other's going to go up. So, I mean, if you just catch them at the right time, you're almost guaranteed at least 2% profit. I mean, you could be a dunce and get 2% profit off of ETFs. Yeah, right. That's what people said about crypto before. Right. This is true. You're right on that. When they first announced the steel tariffs, I heard on the news a guy hit over $1 million off of a $200,000 investment. Wow. Damn. That guy. Hopefully he stayed in. Or not stayed in. Hopefully he covered his profits, as we like to say. Hopefully he covered them profits, and hopefully he turned that $1 million into $2 million. Because, I mean, man, could you imagine that 200 grand turned into... I always like do these like just mathematical equations on, okay, if I can get my account up to this and then do this per month, blah 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 blah, I could turn. I mean, it's just insane when you do like just the math and break down how much money you can make trading ETFs, trading stocks, trading crypto, trading. There's just so many ways. Trading was it OTC, OTIC? I don't know what stocks I'm thinking of. They're like very very small, like not even penny stocks, like hundreds of thousands of a penny per share. I forget what they're called, like OTCs or something. I don't remember the exact name of them, but there's just so many different ways that you can go about trading and making, like, you can literally change your life and just ultimately, I mean, yeah, like I said, just change your life. I mean, this can literally, my goal obviously in the end is to obviously have my account at $100,000, because at $100,000 making 5% a day, I mean, I don't know if I went over that exact math with you guys, but I mean, if I can get an account up to $100,000 and make 5% a day, now obviously you'd have to divide that because you're going to do 50 grand a day with whatever rules and whatnot. So 50 grand a day times your 5%, you're looking at 2,500 times, let's just say 21 market days. So you're looking at 52 grand. You're only going to bring home, let's just be very, very conservative. Say you're only going to bring home, let's just say even half of that, which obviously you can bring home a lot more if you do your taxes and everything, right? Probably 60% is what you could bring home, maybe even more. But let's say you only bring home 50 because you're stupid. You're looking at 26 grand a month. Times that, times 12 months a year, you're making over $315,000 a year. That's just what I like so much. And then obviously this is not what I want to be my only source of income. I do YouTube. I'm not making any money off of YouTube because I don't have like 1,000 subscribers. I'm not too worried about it or anything. Like, I do this more because I want to like help people out. Obviously I learned a lot from guys like Ricky Gutierrez. I learned a little from Tim Sykes, but not a whole lot. But there's just so many people out there when it comes to like making money online that are just total scumbags. Like, they're just looking to make a quick buck off of people that are just ignorant. And I don't mean ignorant like an offensive way, like just ignorant as in like they don't know any better. And I'm just looking, how I look at it is the more YouTubers that we have that are like me, like Ricky Gutierrez. I'm not comparing me and Ricky Gutierrez saying like I'm on his level. I'm saying like people that are actually genuine, not looking to just make a quick buck off of people that actually care. I just think we need more people like that on YouTube, which is why I started this YouTube channel like 2 years ago almost now. I mean, I started out by just selling stuff on eBay, Amazon. If you go way back in my channel, you'll see that. I was just looking at any way to make $1 online. And I actually got scammed. That's how this all started. I got scammed myself. And then out of all that came how to make money on an eBay store. I started doing that for a little while. Then I got into Amazon FBA, did a little bit of merch by Amazon, just a whole bunch of stuff really. And now I obviously found my main passion. I've always loved the stock market. I love numbers. I'm just a big numbers guy. And yeah, I mean, don't want to get too sentimental or anything, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how much the internet and just everything has just changed. You can literally, that's why I try to just tell people all the time. I mean, I see people all over my Facebook. I have like almost 1,200 friends or something like that on my Facebook page that I went to school with, and just so many people are always complaining about how just no one can win in America. We should have 15 an hour minimum wage, all this. And I'm like, if you literally just sat down, did a budget, I mean, I talk about budgeting and getting out of debt and all that stuff on this channel too. If you just sit down, tell your money where to go, you'd be amazed. You literally get a raise just by sitting down doing a budget every single month and checking on your budget every like week or two. Me and my girlfriend, we check our budgets like every week, sometimes every couple of days, to just make sure we're on track. And I mean, it literally feels like you get a raise just by doing a budget. And once you get out of debt, it feels like another raise. I mean, I only have one credit card left to pay off, and I feel like I've gotten a huge raise because I'm like $400 plus more added to my budget. So what am I doing now? $400 into my investment account. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get off on like a whole rant or anything. It's crazy. Just the internet's really changed so much, and it's crazy how many people still have like yet to figure that out. I've always been interested in stocks. Robinhood's me. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was actually introduced to Robinhood like years ago, like in 2014 or 15. I don't know exactly when Robinhood came out, but I know I was introduced to it very early on, like right around when I was graduating. And I graduated high school in 2015, and I believe I had an account before I graduated. I don't know for a fact. Actually, I might have just graduated because I was like 18, and I didn't have to have any like parent consent or anything like that. I graduated when I was 17. I turned 18 like a month after. My birthday's in June. But yeah, I had an account very early on because I heard about the free stock, and I messed around with it for like a little. I threw like $20 in it or something. I had a free GoPro share, and I think I bought a couple more shares. And I lost a lot of money on those. I showed it actually at the beginning of the stream, or close to the beginning of the stream. But yeah, Robinhood has made it a lot easier. I mean, just with the free commission, like no commissions. They do kind of mess with you a little bit if you pay really, really close attention. Like me, when I added up all of my balances and whatnot, it looks like they're taking a couple pennies here and there. Either that or my math, like I said, my math could be off by a few pennies or something. But I mean, I think they are kind of making money on the back end, not just with Robinhood Gold and all of that. But overall, Robinhood is a very good platform, especially for newer people. I even said from the start I'll probably use Robinhood at least until my account is at the minimum above $10,000, probably even more. I'll probably wait till I'm at least around $50,000 in my account. So I mean, I'll probably be using Robinhood for at least the next 2 years. But yeah, I mean, is there any stocks or anything, ETFs, stocks, crypto, gold, any silver or anything like that? We obviously went over silver, but is there like anything that you guys want me to go over specifically? I want to see how our stream's actually doing too really quick. I usually check on that pretty often. So, wow, we're already an hour over. I told my girlfriend I was going to try to keep it to like half an hour. So apparently we had like 4 people in here at some point. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I mean, I haven't really had like an audience, a true audience before, so this is actually pretty cool that I actually have to keep my chat pulled up. But awesome. Like I said, I'm just trying to reach as many people as possible. I mean, it's not about making money on YouTube. I mean, how many changes YouTube's had? I mean, you're not going to make a lot of money off YouTube anyways, but I just want to reach as many people as possible. And just, I mean, I'm using YouTube honestly more as like a documentary almost. Like if you look at my channel, I mean, I document everything I do essentially, like from a money and business standpoint. I took about a year off from this channel and actually went and tried to start like a fitness channel, which was like a total failure. I mean, I'm like a fit guy, but I mean, no one's going to pay attention to someone that's like not really super buff or anything like that. But I mean, I took like a year off from this channel and I came back. It's a video titled like I have some explaining to do or something like that. And yeah, I just kind of talked about where I've been. But yeah, I mean, I'm using this channel mostly as just documenting what failures I've had, what success, what's working for me, be it with the stock market, be it with getting out of debt, be it with budgeting, I mean, like I document every single, anything I find. I mean, a lot of people don't like it. I'll get a few subscribers and then I'll lose some because I know YouTube doesn't like it. YouTube hates whenever you talk about multiple things. Like when I went from Amazon to like how to budget and just kind of, I wouldn't say motivational or anything, but just like kind of a finance, I wouldn't say finance guru. Just like they don't like when you switch subjects a lot. And since the channel started with Amazon and did like a 180, so to speak, to more of like finances and stuff, there was a while where I didn't get like any views. Like I was only getting like 5 to 10 views per video. Most of it was like family. I went through a period where I lost like 15 to 20 subscribers. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually like lost a subscriber again today. But I mean, like I'm gaining more than I'm losing, which is good. Like when I really started revamping this channel, I only had like 215 subscribers. Right now we're obviously at like 254, which is awesome. But that's not like I said, it's not a huge deal. It's just funny how YouTube works. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if there's any stocks or anything you all want me to look at, let me know. But I don't know, like I said, it sounds like you guys didn't catch the beginning of the stream, so I guess I'll go over this really quick for you guys, like my Google spreadsheet that I use on the Google Drive specifically, and I'll show you guys my first full month of trading. Obviously, it started out very bad because, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, look at everything I was doing. I mean, you can probably count at least 5 to 10 different tickers, like just in the first 2 days, March 1st, March 2nd. I mean, look how much I had going on. Just stupid. I mean, I was just dumb. I was a noob. I'll go ahead and keep you guys pulled up right here in case if you guys want to make fun of me or anything. But hopefully you guys are still here. Yeah, you're still here. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, just stupid mistakes. Actually, it's probably gonna make me minimize you guys since I'm gonna scroll. But yeah, I mean, just dumb noob stuff. I mean, I was making some money too. I mean, but yeah, here's my GoPro that I was talking about. See, it was at 129, and then I sold it for 560. But and overall, I added over $600 to my account. I had some free shares from Robinhood that I sold. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I was just experimenting to say the least. Most of it penny stocks. I had some success. You can see 6%, 10%. I mean, there's money to be made anywhere in the stock market, like I said. But I mean, there's just so much inconsistency. That's why I say try to focus on just 2 to 4 stocks or ETFs per day. I mean, just look at that. I mean, just so much red. And like right around here, right around the 12th was when I really was like, okay, I'm sick of whatever I'm doing. I was like, it's not making me money. I'm losing like 5% a day. I mean, I'm having some green. You can see 15%, 12%. off of what, one share, 3 cents made. I mean, who cares? I mean, that's nothing when you're losing $2.21, $17. I mean, just like right in here is when I was like, I've had it. And then that was when I hopped into Gush. I started focusing more on ETFs specifically. And then obviously I sold off the rest of like JDST. That was actually my fault. I got in at a stupid time. I learned my lesson there. Obviously lost 14% and 8%. But I tried to average down and it was still a bad idea. But as you can tell, when I started like sticking to my actual plan, what did I do? I did not close a single red trade. I mean, I'm not having like huge profits like you saw earlier. It was like plus 15%, plus 10%. But what would I rather see? Plus 10% than minus 14%? And just have a total volatile portfolio and just get scared and eventually quit, because I mean it was emotionally and mentally just exhausting, because I would have one day where I was like, yes, made like 10% on my account, and the next day I'd be like, no, I lost 20%. I like canceled out everything and lost some. It was just draining, and I mean my account was going down, it was not going up. So what would I rather see? Something super volatile like that and eventually quit because it sucks so bad, or would I rather see just this slow 3, 4, 2% growth every single day? I mean, for as bad as I did, minus 2%, minus 2.5%, I don't see that as really that bad, considering like just how bad of a stretch I had. I mean, you guys seen how bad that stretch was. I mean, I lost $3, I lost $17, I lost $8. I mean, it's just amazing that I only lost $15.22. But and then obviously if we exit out of this, I mean, you can see last few days of the month I ended green, obviously. And then if we go back to Monday, yesterday, I ended all green. I averaged about 3% for the day. I made $23, $24, somewhere around there. What was it? 6, 12, 13, 21, about $22, $23, somewhere around there. But yeah, and I mean, like I said, I did this more for if you guys want to see like just the sheet, if you guys want like a copy of it, or if you just want to copy it yourselves. It took me like 2 minutes to make. I just put my dates here. You can see I have it set up for tomorrow, 4/4. I put my date here, the stock that I bought, and for the price per share, and total price. As you see, TVIX for 1027 for a total of 102.70. Then I put my sell price and total sell price, and then I just do my profit, calculate the profit. If you guys don't know how to do that, I'm assuming you do. But like, let's go ahead and just calculate TVIX so you see what I'm saying. So you can see that my profit, you would just take your what you sold it for minus what you bought it for. That's where you get your profit. So then from there you take your profit, which was $680, and you would divide that by your initial investment of 102.70. So 102.7. Oh, that's 102.1. Shit. 6.8 divided by 102.7. So see, 6.6%, technically 6.62, but I just said 6.60, 6.6%. So that, if you didn't know how to do that, that's how you do that. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously people that have their setup where like it does the math for you and all this, but I mean, I just like keeping it. I mean, this is the most simple stuff for me. I do it, if I do it every single day, it only takes like 2 minutes to do, because that's another beauty of only trading like 2 or 3 stocks a day. I mean, you don't have that much to like keep track of. And why do you do this? One, so you can like keep true track of your progress just as a trader, kind of as motivation, because seeing that you're doing green can motivate you. And for obviously tax purposes, I want to keep track of deductions for like how much money I'm putting in. I'll deduct all of last month since I ended red. Obviously just for I'm not like an accountant or anything. I'm just doing what my accountant told me. Obviously go talk to your own tax professional when that time comes. I'm not really taking this too serious. I just know that I want to keep track of everything because I already have a business to begin with, and I just need to keep track of everything just in case if I ever get audited, which I mean it's not if, it's when. So yeah, definitely go see your tax professional before doing anything. But let's see if you guys have any questions or anything about this. I was just saying, you were saying about what? Did you just post that? Are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about specifically. OI was the same. But yeah, so I mean that's just a quick little tour of my. Oh, are you talking about how you started trading? How it was like just crazy? I don't know. There could be like 3 different things you were talking about just then. But yeah, that's just my quick little spiel on how I do my thing. I mean, like I said, it's not nothing crazy, nothing does the math for you. It's just quick. It takes about 2 minutes to set up. I label it for every month. I keep it in my Google Drive. That way, if when I need to print them out, I actually need to print March's out now that I'm home. But I print them out. I put them in a little binder, and I obviously keep them on Google Drive, which is safe and always going to be there, so I don't have to worry about like my computer crashing or something. Obviously, could somebody hack my account and see it? Yeah, but I don't really give a fuck. I don't have anything in there that's like crazy. So yeah, I mean, you guys can definitely copy that if you want or whatever. But let me make sure we're still doing all right. So yeah, I mean, if you have any last to diversion when I start, yeah, that's, I know, and that's the crazy thing is people say you need to be diversified, blah 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 blah. But no, I mean, as long as you have a plan, stick to your plan. And I mean, like I said, if you seen me with Gush on Monday, you could, I'm sure you could probably tell. I didn't even go back and watch, but I mean, I was pretty pissed when Gush was. I mean, just look at it. I mean, Gush did horrible to start the day the other day, 5-day. I mean, just look at that. I mean, it went down. I mean, I literally rode that motherfucker all the way down. And I mean, I don't like to cuss on this channel a whole lot, but I mean, I did. I mean, it just, when did I get in? I got in right around here. No, not right around there. I got in right around, when the hell? It was like 21:11, wasn't it? It was like right around here then, yeah. And I wrote it down even further. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was getting so mad. I was like, there's so much volume behind this. Why is it not going up? And I mean, everything was showing oversold. And then finally started shooting up. I sold off, thankfully, for profit. Not huge profit. Would I have been smart to hold on to it and then sell it off first thing in the morning? Yes, but I mean, what would the difference have been? About 2%. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal. I can make that up tomorrow plus some. So, it's not a huge ordeal. But, what happened with GameStop? Did it even move much? I don't know if you guys know, but GameStop was one that I was kind of keeping an eye on. So, it's breaking above the current SMA. Look for it to possibly pull back in the morning. Maybe bounce. Be looking out for this. It did well apparently on its, or was that not well for its earnings because it dropped really big? Did Gush have an inverse? Do you mean does Gush have an inverse? If so, yes. If you look at Gush, so let's look at Gush 5-day. Its inverse is Drip. So as you can see, Drip did what? It spiked up. That is the inverse of Gush, if that's what you're meaning. Yes. Gush does have the inverse. It is Drip. Drip is the inverse of Gush. Like I said, I mean, you see right here, it shot up Monday, and then what happened with Gush? It took a big dip and then started going back up. And that is why I mentioned around when you guys joined, actually, that I was going to be keeping a really close eye on what's going to happen with these in pre-market hours and very, very early market hours, because what I'm looking for is for Drip to possibly go ahead and shoot right up in the morning for a potential like 3 to 4% profit. Right around here. The SMA might act as a resistance. That's why I said I would get in fairly quickly, right around 1280, and then I would sell off right around 4% profit. Or that's kind of what I'm expecting because there is some good volume behind it, and just the overall pattern shows that. And then with Gush, what I would do then too is wait for it to have its pullback. I would look for it to bounce off somewhere around the SMA. Like I said, it might go a little below the SMA indicator, but I would wait for some form of confirmation, wait for it to get above the SMA, invest in then that point, and then try to ride it up right around here for another potential, I don't know, about 6%, but for a decent amount of profit. So that is why I love ETS. I just love, because obviously as one goes down, the other's going to go up. It's just, can you catch it at the right time? That was my problem on Monday. I caught them just at inverse times. I thought the Gush was eventually going to bounce. I thought it was going to bounce off of the indicator here. So could I be wrong and see something similar? Could we see Gush take another sell-off, take another huge pullback tomorrow? Yes, but will it happen? I don't think so, because if you look at the 20-day overall, what has happened every time it's gotten down to like new lows? It's shot back up. So what I'm expecting is something similar. I'm looking, as you can see, it's kind of setting up similar to what happened here. We saw it get really low around 2050, and then what did it do? It shot up how much percent? Let's say 2055 to, it shot up 20% in like 3 days. So we've seen it hit a really highest low in like the last month or so of 2011. So how much is it up since then? 2011. Right now it's currently at 2037. So right now it's up 10%. So I mean it has like another 10% to go if you look at it from that point. So if you look at it from that point, you're looking at what? Right around the recent high of around $24 to $25. So it's very interesting for sure. It's just catching them at the right time and hopping all over it at the end of the day. But yeah, that's kind of why. That's kind of just what I'm looking at for tomorrow. I'm looking at Gush. I'm looking at TVIX. I'm looking at Drip. I'm looking at JNUG. Those are pretty much the four that I'm really keeping an eye on. And then, of course, I'm still keeping an eye on just my overall watch list. Acres, one that I'm kind of interested in, but I'm going to watch it. I think it's going to continue to fall again. I look for it to bounce around 55 cents, or between 60 to 55 cents. And why do I think that? I mean, just look at the overall pattern. People are just waiting on the FDA approval, and I mean, they're not really showing any signs of a FDA approval happening anytime soon. But if you look at, what was it, the 20-day? What did it do? Or maybe not even 20-day. Let's look at the, actually it might not, I think 60 cents might be where it's going to bounce this time in all honesty. Because if we look at the 30-day, it might even be more than 30 days. It's, the SMA is acting what is the support. And when did it get down? It got down, yes, to around 55 cents. It dipped down below the SMA. It's really low. It's really low below the SMA. And that's obviously because we had the conference call this morning and there really wasn't a bunch of stuff really going on with that. Is there another one? No, yeah, that already happened. But yeah, every time it dips, it bounces at some point, and the SMA has been acting as a support of late. The only thing to watch is that the SMA is kind of flatlined. So be paying attention to that if you want to, or if you even want to consider getting into the Acre. Just kind of watch the SMA, kind of watch the EMA. Obviously, it's showing that it's well oversold. But I do think it might continue to trend down tomorrow. Could it have a green day tomorrow? Sure. But I'm just not too interested in it currently. It's not really showing good signs currently. I mean, it's hit a low 63. It's currently up to about 65 or 66 cents. So what you could see happen tomorrow, so it's trending above the EMA slightly, which could be a good sign. So what could happen tomorrow is you could see a potential 10% profit and they get rejected by the SMA, the recent SMA. But yeah, it's just, that's the thing with penny stocks, guys. I mean, it's such a high, there's such high volatility. That's why I don't really pay too much attention. Look at BPMX, it's still a turd. It was down 2 cents today. Look at Seed, it's still a turd. It's down 6 cents today. Yeah, I just don't really mess with those too much. But yeah, for tomorrow, I'm watching out for JNUG, Gush, Drip, TVIX, and yeah, I mean, those are my four essentially that I'm looking out for tomorrow. But yeah, if you have any final last questions or stocks you want me to go over, let me know. If not, I'm probably going to go ahead and get ready to hop off of here. We got a few things still we got to do before we go to bed tonight. Got to get back to work tomorrow and make some money at the job, as well as make money, pretty much double dip, make money from the stock market, make money from the job at the same time. And like I said, I'm actually going to be going to the midnight to 8 shift here about a week from tomorrow, actually. So what I hope to do is get off of my job at 8 o'clock in the morning, come straight home, hop on here. I'm going to do live streams as much as possible. It might not be every single market day, but I'm going to try to as much as possible. It just depends on my sleep schedule and everything. What I really hope to do is at least be live from like around 5 minutes before market open until probably 10 a.m. at least. Maybe even longer, maybe till noon. It just depends, like I said, depends on sleep schedule. I'll be honest with you guys, I hope to get some sleep at work. Luckily, it's a really relaxed place, but you gotta be careful with it still. But it just depends. I mean, we'll play it day by day, see what happens. But I do hope to, I plan on at least going live for a little bit, probably till at least 10 o'clock in the morning, almost every single market day that I'm trading for sure. So yeah, I mean, I'll keep you guys updated on that, of course. But if we don't have any other questions, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this live stream up. I mean, we're over like an hour and a half. Good luck, stay green. You too, man. Let me know what you're trading tomorrow. I'll probably go live again, I think, tomorrow evening. Not around this time. I'll probably go live tomorrow evening, probably around 8 o'clock Central Time. Right now it's going on 11 o'clock Central Time. So just look at your clock right now and see if you're ahead or behind me. It's 10:57 right now where I'm at Central U.S. time. And I'm hoping to go live probably around 8 o'clock, maybe slightly earlier, p.m. tomorrow. So hope to see you guys back. But yeah, until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making them profits, covering those profits, achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.